So thank you very much for joining us. You've got me, Polly Barnfielder, and Sarah Bassett. I'm CEO of Maybe, and Sarah is our head of growth and deals with all our local authorities. Sarah, what's keeping you busy at the moment?
Oh, crikey, open calls galore for UK SPF funding. Yeah, it's keeping me out of mischief, Polly.
Really good. But please, as we go through, feel free to drop any Q&As in the session. If you'd like to ask to answer privately, then please just put them for us, or if you'd like them for the benefit of everybody else, please put them for everybody, and we will answer them as we go through. Just for anybody of you that don't know what Maybe is about, we deliver local business support at scale using our data-driven social media management platform. We've worked with over 100 local authorities on UK CRF, Welcome Back, and EDR projects, and Sarah mentioned we're deep in providing support for UK SPF projects at the moment. What's unusual about the way we deliver support is we do it all virtually, we do it data-driven, so it's very personalised and very localised. We collect the data from about 3.9 million UK businesses every single day. And with our support programmes comes a sort of an outreach programme. So last year we made 750,000 phone calls. Importantly, we provide match funding, so we provide about £20 million in match funding with projects last year. And then the SVF projects, a lot more match funding going into those. We sent 2 million emails to local businesses, and we delivered £750,000 worth of vouchers. We trained 25,000 businesses last year, and importantly, the average cost to train businesses comes out about £400. And this webinar today, we're going to really look at the impact on places and what that local business support does from both a footfall and a jobs creative perspective. Before we go there, just want to make clear that all the data that Maybe has is also available in the High Street Task Force dashboard. It's a summary that you've got within that, and so you can see the digital sentiment within place, the digital participation, so the difference between national and local organisations using social media. Something we'll talk about as we go through this webinar is that you see the line at the top of the graph on the right-hand side is much higher than either the social media, the national or the local organisations. And our general message is the consumers run off the pitch of the ball, they're living a social life, and businesses are really struggling to keep up. On the dashboard, you also got digital activity against footfall, and we talked a lot more about that relationship today and then how people are using different channels. You also, by default, have access to a free Maybe account as a local authority. So please, if you're not yet using that, do drop us a line, and Sarah will set you up. But we're very much here to help you understand place and how social media connects people to it. So what we're going to talk about today on today's webinar is we're going to share how local business support that really focuses on digital inclusion, how it impacts pride in place, local footfall, prosperity and jobs. We look at case studies about how local business support can create and safeguard jobs. We've got a nice case study from Herefordshire, how it drives footfall, and a sneak peek at how Chat GPT can transform local business support. Hands up in Q&A who has not, or hands up for anybody that's tried Chat GPT. I'm going to do a dangerous thing today and do a live demo of something that we're working on that I'm thinking could be quite exciting. Somebody's raised their hand. Jamie, you've raised your hand. Does that mean you'd like to speak? I don't know how we can do that here. Jamie, would you like to? Oh, you raised your hand. Brilliant. You raised your hand because you've used Chat GPT. Fantastic. Sorry, Polly's being dozy here. Hands up. So hands up if you've, well, anyway, we're going to have a live demonstration of Chat GPT on this call, particularly relating to how it could work with local business support. We are pretty excited about it. It's given me a lot of sleepless nights at the moment, but so if I look like I'm tired, I probably am. So without further ado, let's move on to just thinking about local business support in a sort of digital first world. Our approach to this is that because we've got all this data, we draw a boundary around a place, and then we look at the support that's delivered to that place. So the first graph on the left-hand side, in this example, that's thrown a boundary around a particular area. We then can see the number of local businesses in that area and can track what we do to them. So how many businesses are receiving support, how many emails are being sent, how many calls have been made. And importantly, we've built out this big training hub that enables businesses to watch training on demand, and we tailor that training around the topics that we understand people are asking questions about. everything that we deliver is about making sure they can consume training immediately. I know a lot of business support programs offer webinars, which are great, but the challenge is people have to turn up from a specific time, like you've had to turn up to this at a specific time. You know, we make sure that this content is now available on the High Street Task Force webinar, that you have it so you can share it with your colleagues. But actually, if you're a busy business owner, what you want is you want a 5-minute piece of training for something you need to know right now. So if I need to do a reel, I want to know about it right now. Or if I've got a problem with building an audience on Facebook, I need to know about it right now. So we believe that the whole sort of the business of changing the way people behave is all about how you can give them support at the time they need it. But firstly, make sure they know they need it. Then make sure you give them support at the time they need it, and then provide the tools to measure. And that's very much about the wraparound support that we provide. Is both igniting the desire to learn, but then providing tools that don't mean that they have to change their behaviour, wraps around their business. And we'll look at those in more detail in a minute. But I think first, what I'd like to do is play you this news clip. Always makes me giggle. It took, I think, 5 hours to record this for 2 minutes of video. But it was really interesting what I learned in the time that we recorded this as well. So first, we're going to play the recording that we recorded a couple of weeks ago. This is from a UK CRF project that we ran in Herefordshire. It was just under 2,000 businesses that took part in it. And this is what one business had to say. I think I have to leave this window. So let me know, Sarah, if I lose you. You're still on the screen. It can. Don't know what Twitter. I love what Twitter's new emblem is here. I'm not quite sure that's all.
I know. I saw that. It's strange, isn't it? A little, yeah.
The cost of living and flexible working continues.
To expand. That's it.
Expand.
There we go.
You see, everybody see okay? Perfect. Here we're going to play this.
As increasing.
Here we go.
As the increase in the cost of living and flexible working continues, less people are visiting their high streets. Businesses like the Ledbury in Herefordshire are attempting to use social media to bring customers in. But is it working?
It's absolutely helped us, and I think the opportunities for small business, especially on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all of them really, is endless. If you are confident and have the knowledge and know-how, which maybe have given us, to explore all the different services they have to offer and to reach the maximum audience.
Whether you want a drink or something new to wear, you can find it here under one roof. They are one of more than 1,700 businesses in the county who took part in a government-funded social media pilot. During that time, businesses taking part had a 15% increase in footfall, whereas those who didn't take part had 7.4%. Social media specialists argue more companies need to invest in their online presence.
Only 400 businesses post something on a daily basis on social media. It's a challenging market, right? So you've got to really look to be able to expand your business today. I think there's a big misunderstanding that social media is sometimes seen as a digital channel. But actually, as consumers, we've got a phone in our hand all the time, and it's what you see on your feed determines what you do.
Could this shake-up in approach be the answer?
We have quite a big following that we're trying to grow, and part of a service that maybe offers is to grow an audience that reflect other people who have been interested and enjoy the business. So that way we get to kind of maximize our reach and let everyone know what we're doing, and that we'd love to welcome them to the Ledbury.
And it's that strategy many in this area are taking on in order to drive footfall from online into physical stores, as increasing footfall in high streets remains a challenge for businesses across the country. Theo Chikomba, GB News. As the increase in the...
Tricky bit getting back to where you were.
Getting back to the right window. There we go. That's the one.
Thank you. So the point here is that the Ledbury is a very small, it's a lovely little business in Ledbury, and I mentioned there that there are only 400 businesses in Herefordshire that post on social media on a daily basis. Now, in the 4 or 5 hours I spent with the Ledbury, what was really interesting is the feedback they gave to us is that, you know, she also runs the Ledbury Traders Association, and she's saying there's this, you know, huge gap between those that do social media and those that don't within Herefordshire itself. And what they've now got to the point where they, part of the training that we deliver enables them to learn how to use advertising better on social media. And she said the really interesting thing is that they're now not using advertising on the days that they're busy because they're now overfull. And so they're being able to be strategic about how and when they spend money to make sure that on the days when they're not as full, or on the days they have new product arriving in their fashion store upstairs, they're being very tactical in the way they use social media. And you know, that's meant that they're increasing the number of people they're employing at the weekends because they can guarantee that they're going to be full. And part of the output for CRF projects was jobs safeguarded and jobs created. And the data that we've got back from Herefordshire was that it's about 0.25 of a job created and 0.25 of a job safeguarded in each participating business that adopted social media. But the hardest thing is to get people to go, I want to do this. And I think that's the really big message for us, is that digital is not just about driving e-commerce sales. It has this huge impact on how people arrive at a business. The Ledbury don't have, they haven't really got their Shopify for their store upstairs sorted out, but their main business is selling beautiful food and lovely drinks. And they have absolutely no doubt now that social media is the way that brings people through their door. Now, she's now got 150 people in the Ledbury Traders Association doing the same. You've got to have somebody local that you've empowered with the knowledge, and she's really getting to grips with them and encouraging them all to do it as well. The point is that local prosperity has a massive impact on local jobs because you've given the tools to pull people in. We've seen a very similar thing with a business in Stow-on-the-Wold, actually, in Cotswolds. This business was always used Instagram, but didn't actually know how to use ads through a welcome back piece of work. This lady is now using ads to such an extent that she's doing over £100,000 a month in sales online, in addition to being able to literally have people queue outside the store when her new items arrive. Now, in each case, their use of social media is having a massive positive impact on their business, but it's also bringing footfall to the store. This is an interesting graph. This is looking at where people are coming from to visit her store, which is something we're working on much more, and we're looking at the additionality on footfall. So what is social media bringing that other activity wasn't bringing before? Keep your eyes peeled for that. It's something we're going to be releasing much more of this year. But also helping people to understand where to target their advertising spend. So based upon where products have come from, how you can make sure that adverts land in the right place so the right people buy. But all of these things mean that Law & Co now have massively extended their workforce to deal with the sales that they're generating both online and offline. So from a local business support perspective, I think the measure of footfall and jobs created can be supported. One of the things we found from a timing perspective is often it's quite hard within the timescales of a very short programme to demonstrate that additionality on jobs. But longer term, there are ways to do that. And we're learning a lot about the ways you survey to collect that data. But you know, more and more case studies are being built out around how the delivery of digital activity is having a massive impact on prosperity and job creation within local business. And then going on to the footfall piece, we've done a really interesting piece of work here around, you know, social media is the place where people go for inspiration. How can you connect it to the actual physicality and what it's doing in a place? You know, how is that social sentiment, if you like, what's being said online impacting footfall? So what we've done is we've mapped the mobile phone data for each place where we're delivering projects, where the budget allows, to be able to say, have more people gone into that store, and was that store part of the programme? So we can then look at that data, as mentioned in the news clip, around have participating businesses increased their footfall versus those that haven't. And there is a really clear message, and that is that it does. So does social media deliver footfall? Sarah, what's the answer?
Absolutely. It was really interesting, wasn't it, that this part of this pilot with UK CRF, because this was data that we hadn't really looked at collecting before, but obviously it's an output of those projects. And again, an output through SPF, some of the communities in place, and tourism interventions, and then business support interventions as well, are looking for increase in footfall or numbers and visitor numbers and so on. So this was really, really exciting when we saw this. I mean, we had an inkling, didn't we? It was going to be a positive picture, but I don't think we realised quite what an impact the work we'd done on local footfall. Something that was about 15%, wasn't it, uplift between those businesses that participated in social media training and activity, as opposed to those businesses that weren't participating. And that's an extraordinary impact, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So this orange line here is the trend in footfall for participating businesses versus the town trend, which is the blue line, and the grey trend, which is the non-participating. Obviously, there are lots of, in going through this data, it was a massive task. We had to literally map the longitude and latitude of every business's front door. And some businesses where they're purely online and all those things. But, you know, overall, there's an unequivocal proof that increasing the social media capability of a business increases the footfall. And that, by default, increases the prosperity of the town, because you get the additionality. And we're doing a subsequent piece of work around that additionality piece. Now, is this line being driven by more local people, or is it brought people in from further afield? And do these people then go and spend more with the non-participating businesses? So are you increasing the footfall to the non-participating businesses through the presence of these people? So we're doing lots of lovely data crunching, which is driving me insane. But I think there's lots of things to be learned from this, because if you can get a nucleus of businesses getting really good at this within a town, you will change the prospects of that town, without doubt, what we've seen. And, you know, again, I don't think it's rocket science when you stop and think about it. You know, we've seen endless stories of shopping centres that have invited, a brand within a shopping centre had an influencer turn up. And you've brought towns and shopping centres to a standstill. This is a business called Morph. They do that, and they literally, I think they brought the Bull Ring to a standstill and brought the middle of Birmingham to a standstill. So we're not saying employ an influencer. We're saying give your businesses the tools so that they can become their own influencers, because it brings people. So it's all about enabling businesses to invite people in, because without doubt it generates footfall. Sarah, are you manning the chat for me? I'm struggling with that.
Yes, I've got my on it, don't worry. Hello, everybody that said hello.
Any questions, please do fire away. So you know, why does this matter? Well, the reason this matters is that we all accept that social media is part of our lives, and social media undoubtedly is bringing people to places, but there's a real problem with local businesses, and that has an impact on the sentiment of what a place says, because if you're not popping up on Instagram and something else grabs people's attention, and that is where they go. So the 3.9 million businesses that we track every day, only 19% of businesses have an active social media account. Only 9% of businesses post at the weekend. And only 25% of businesses are spending more than 5 hours a week managing their social media. And that's of the businesses that are posting. So if you think about, you know, the average consumer spends over 8 hours a week on social media. 25% of 19% of businesses are spending 5 hours a week. The rest are doing much less. So there's this enormous gap that's opening up. Now, those businesses like the Ledbury that embrace it, they literally can't manage the response. And that has a pull-along effect on other businesses. But if you can get your local businesses to embrace digital channels, it has a massive impact on the people that turn up in your places. Going backwards. So why? This is really interesting. I was just thinking, I'm sorry to talk about Christmas. I know it's only Easter, but looking at data back from this Christmas, 85% of people were using social media to decide what to buy. That's going to get even bigger this year. If you look at how do you stay in touch with shops and businesses you like to use, social media is the largest piece here. 55% of consumers use social media to stay in touch. So think of all these touch points and think of all of your businesses. If, you know, the average across the UK is that only 19% of businesses are using social media. If you'd like to know how that looks in your place, please drop Sarah a note and she'll drop you your data of the number of businesses using social media and number participating. You ask somebody, how often do you click on or engage with content you see from brands on social media? 80% of people engage with brands on social media, only if they're there. 95% of consumers shop locally on a regular basis. That's really, really good. But how much more will they spend if their spend is not being sucked off somewhere else because something else is grabbing their attention? How often do you use social media to find out about latest products or services? 85% of people use social media to discover products or services. In the last 3 months, have you purchased something as a result of having seen it on social media? 75% have bought something because they've seen it on social media. And I think this is the last one. How likely are you to buy from social media advert that's served up on your timeline? Quite likely and very likely. Now, this is the big part, and a part of what I think any local business support should think very heavily about, is that the majority of businesses, not only they're not posting on social media, but they don't have the first clue where to start with how to use paid ads. So, and if you're a business and you're posting on social and you don't know how to use paid ads, then Mr. Zuckerberg tends to hide your content. So it's really important they've got an ability to be able to boost their content. And a large part of the training that we deliver, and we'd recommend that anybody else that you're working with to do local business support can do, is to really help businesses not just start to use social media, but they've actually got to be able to say, I need my content to be seen by these people. So, yeah, how big is this problem across the UK? Well, it's massive. This is the top 10 locations across the UK by social media activity. And if you look at the percentage of businesses active, these are in prosperous areas like Westminster, Surrey, Manchester, London, Salford, and you can see these percentages here. Active on social media, 18%, 13%, 18%. Please drop us a line, we'll give you your percentage, we can track that, we can measure it, and really help you understand the need in your local area. If you're creating local business support programs, we'd love to share what we've learned from the work we've done, because it's quite extensive, and we're all the time improving the way we deliver it. If you're creating solutions and putting tenders out, we'd love to show you, any suggestions we're going to help you shape them so you get the best benefit from them. What we know works is that data-led outreach at scale is got to be the way to do it. You've got to help businesses. You can also reach businesses through paid social media. So you've got to identify a way to reach businesses at scale, and that's through paid social, phone outreach, stakeholder support to validate the training. So a lot of the training that we do, I'm going to show you that in a moment, we spend a lot of time creating local case studies so that businesses can go, oh, if Fred can do that, I can do that. And we're then obsessive about email follow-up. So we've got a big CRM process that means that the minute somebody has touched us or watched some training, they then keep getting nudged to watch more training. Everything's on demand, as I mentioned before, and I'll show you how that works. Keep training virtual. Don't ask people to go into a classroom. They're busy, and keep it case study led, so it's really relevant. You need to provide the tools that make it easier to solve problems and help them make more money. Make it sector led, so make it really virtual in the sense that if I'm a hotelier, I want to see hotelier type training. Support everything with one-to-one support once trust is established. So don't try and push one-to-one support until people have actually sort of said, oh, yeah, I want to watch your training, and then they ask for help. And the piece that I'm going to show you with Chat GPT in a moment is very much about that whole piece of establishing rapport. Same with group training. Again, that works once you've got rapport. Maintaining an always-on approach to support. You literally, we recommend that you must be able to deliver answers to questions 24/7. The training must add revenue to their business. So you're going to be able to show them how to generate more cash. That's the only way you get their attention, and make sure there's a scalable measurement and reporting system in place so that you can demonstrate your outcomes and outputs appropriately. Things that absolutely don't work is expecting businesses to come to you. Feet on the street, it doesn't get the results the same way as if pouring your heart and soul into digital outreach and phone outreach. Putting training in classrooms, there's a place for it, but I don't think with businesses it works. Sarah, would you agree with that? Oh, you're speaking beautifully.
I'm here. I was busy firing data over. So while you were chatting, so I'm afraid I missed the question. What was the question?
Okay. I was asking Sarah, sorry. So things that don't work, putting training in classrooms and sort of feet on the street outreach is not what businesses want today, is it?
Oh, I mean, one of the beauties of the UK CRF gave us a real opportunity to, A/B test all the different ways that business support can be delivered and what does get the biggest uptake, and absolutely getting businesses into a classroom. Oh, and feet on the street. Well, I'm sure everybody on this call has been through the pain that I've been through in the past of schlepping up and down high streets and telling them about an amazing training you've got on offer, and actually all they want to talk to you about is business rates and parking. It's a really hard job to get people to engage. And what we've been able to do is really work out through these pilot projects exactly what works and what doesn't, and that bite size on demand training supported both with we have live daily training sessions every day at 10 o'clock and across different range of subjects where we have experts on the call. Literally businesses can bring their own problems to if they want to, so it's very much an interactive support process. People can bring one-to-one suggestions or ideas or how-tos, or I'm stuck with this or that or the other, or could you explain something for me? And they get great engagement. So it's that everything's recorded, everything, people can dip in and out. And actually, we find a lot of the small everyday businesses, they're opening their shops at 10 o'clock, they're closing at 5. A lot of them are coming in and engaging with this training content at, say, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, or first thing in the morning, just before they're getting the kids out the door for school. So it's that piece of making everything accessible and also delivering content that they're interested in, because a whole day in a classroom learning about Twitter, when actually you just want to understand how you can send a direct message on Twitter, or how you can what type of content you should be putting on Twitter, or whatever it is. It's just that people they love the bite-sized bit, don't they? The fact that they can get the answer that right there, right now. And then obviously with live chat, and ours isn't just a chatbot, we are real people. So people can literally type into the chat function within the platform and say, I need some help with this. And one of the team's back with them within minutes. So it's that interactive piece, isn't it? It's that right now piece that works. Absolutely.
And so the other pieces that we've learned is the collecting the results piece, the whole business of being able to report back, is that you need to, if you're building programs like this, I'd very much say that the brief needs to say, you've got to collect the feedback by surveys, but also make sure it's part of the program, because just waiting for the end at the end is really hard. We also learned that it's great that because we've done so much outreach, the sort of 1,000 calls we've made, it's key that whichever provider you're working with, that you also make sure that you provide them as a council with some support. So on your website, it says we are working with this business, and that you enable that legitimacy, because otherwise it can be hard. And speaking from our side of the fence, if you're delivering the support but there's no support from the council side, it can be hard for people to actually know it's real. You've got to know your local data, so make sure that you're working with a provider that's got the data. We worked incredibly hard to get the data of 3.9 million UK businesses, so which means we can deliver outreach at scale. But if you don't have that data, it makes it really, really hard. And yeah, it's a data to deliver local business support at scale successfully. It's got to be a data-driven methodology, and it's got to be the training. The training is absolutely critical. So I'm going to give you a little dive into what Sarah was so eloquently explaining a moment ago, which is the training and the tools element of what we deliver. But the fundamentals are that business, I think COVID has changed us all forever, and not only that, but we're all busier. We need content on demand, and so as I said at the beginning, it's about saying which area, saying who's being supported, but then and what CRF has enabled us to do is invest in creating this portal that literally lets you have social media success stories on demand. You've got videos about anything you want on demand that you can watch. So if I want to know how to set up a Twitter account or how to set up an Instagram account, the video is there for me. If I want to do something more detailed, how to create an ad account, the video is there. It's literally 5 minutes long. How long is this video? And I'll play it with some jazzy music. There you go, 3 minutes. In 3 minutes and 43 seconds, you're going to learn how to add your business manager. And if you want to ask a question, say, I need some help with my Facebook ads. It will come up and offer me some articles to read, but one of those lovely people at the top here will also jump in during office hours and give me an answer. So, oh, I haven't. I shut my world out. So I put my email address in. There you go. So it can come back to me. Oh, Polly. No, it's you again and not reply because it's me. Oh, look, maybe. Here we go. Now I'm going to show you now how we're taking Chat GPT and taking this next step further. So you see how here it says, in the meantime, these articles may well help you. And I can go up and read those. So I've very quickly, if I've done this at 1 o'clock in the morning, I've very quickly been served with everything I need to know. But one of the things that we've learned is that everybody's got a different question. Everybody needs to know a different thing. There's always something else that you need to know. So this is really good. But we think we're very excited by what we're seeing with Chat GPT. Before we go on, there's also I think whatever you supply from a local business support perspective, it's also important that not only do you have the training, but you've also got tools. So we work at making sure all the businesses have got access to the tools they need to do the thing we're telling them about. So part of the match funding is that we provide access to all of these tools so that they can schedule content, they can see where customers are, they can find out what's working, they can got all the reports around who are influencing conversations ready and available for them. But, and this is the thing that I think is incredibly exciting, is that Chat GPT will enable us to take this to the next level. So we're taking all of the knowledge that we've created through the programs we run to date to create a completely live environment. So Sarah said it's not a bot at the moment, it's not, it's real people. But what we're looking to deliver so that we can support the growth hub function that is possibly being lost. And what we know is that businesses desperately need support around social media. But actually, it's not just how do I do it, it's what do I post. So this is very much in its knickers. So hands up, do a live demo. This is very scary. But what we're endeavouring to do is say, well, in order to make sure that every local business across the UK has got access to support they need, let's say I'm a butcher and I'm in Ledbury. Can you help me create a recipe post as a butcher? Should we say an Easter recipe post? An Easter recipe, doesn't mind my bad spelling, post as a butcher in Ledbury.
I'm on pins now.
Ledbury for Instagram. So the question that our team get time and time again is, what should I post?
Should I post?
I post. Now, but this, if this plays up, I apologise. So here you go. Okay, so just give me some hashtags. Okay, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's great. Can you make it great? Can you make it great? Can you make it funnier? Can you make it funnier and add some emoji? He's right. I've got now. I would like you all to come. Now it's time for remote audience participation. Come on, can somebody chuck some questions in here? Let's see what happens now. So literally, what we're doing is because what's interesting with Chat GPT, for those of you who haven't used it, is it's a new clever AI, but it only knows anything back to 2021. So what we have done is we're taking the calendar, so the seasonal events, whether it's National Tartan Day, National Bring Your Dog to Work Day, and blending it with local data, their own data, and so that we can create a social media help system. So let's say, I say great. Let's say, how do I now? Let's say great. How could I turn this into a real EAL or real EAL on Instagram? Because what we've got to deliver, I believe, to help businesses catch up is live real on Instagram. Is help like this. Now, I think this is game changing. Would love feedback. Can somebody ask me to try to ask you to do something clever? I'm going to do something which I think is mind blowing in the moment. Sarah knows what I'm doing it. One of the things. Here we go. Fun, engaging, real Instagram using the recipe, shelf the ingredients. There you go. It's telling me how to create a reel. Love that. Okay.
You know what my question is going to be, don't you?
Go on, then ask it.
Well, one of the questions I'm asked constantly, and taking London boroughs for an example, but it's the same across the UK, is that Newham, for example, there's over 250 languages spoken in Newham. So how can you deliver support that's accessible for all? And this is what I think is really clever about this, is that you can, let's say Herefordshire, ask them to translate the post into Welsh, for example, because actually is probably being on the Welsh borders and so on. But you can translate it to Chinese, you can translate into whatever.
Okay, brilliant. So I just asked it today, what about a post for a butcher for Chinese New Year? Sure, here's a post for a butcher for Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year from your local butcher. Celebrate the year of the ox. And delicious beef stir fry, slice up some flank. There's the recipe. Don't forget red. Love it. Okay. Could I have this post in Chinese? For a Chinese book, can I? What do you think? Does anybody on the call speak Chinese? Hands up.
We have got a head up here.
Chinese. Good job.
What's the best place to buy Easter eggs in Ledbury?
Oh, that's a good question. You might be asking it beyond its learning age at the moment. Let's give it a try in a minute. Oh, no, go on. No, go on. You can do it. No. Please do it. We're training it at the moment. It's like having a child. It gets very tricky at the moment. No, please, can you translate the post into Chinese? It should do this. Shouldn't it, Sarah? You've seen it do this.
I have seen it do it.
But I was bound to do this. I knew if it's like definitely like working with children and dogs and animals. What question we got? We got a question about Easter eggs in Ledbury. Look at that.
There you go.
Boom. Okay, great. Let's do it in another language. So because that could, I don't know about anybody. I don't know anybody about. I don't know. Great. Can we have it in French too? Great. Can we have?
And actually, for big for teams that or businesses that are looking to reach out to more new markets, but also export markets, which is another key part of UK SPF. This is just such a valuable tool to be able to reach out in different countries, and share your message with the worldwide. There you go. Boom.
So we're really with this is for us. We're very excited about this. We're looking to integrate it into everything we do, so that not only support but training can be delivered in any language, but also, if you're the business owner and you want your social media to be able to be in multi-languages, you've got the tool to be able to have a great social media manager that can also deliver multilingual support to your customers. I think it's really exciting, really exciting. I'm going to try Easter eggs in Ledbury. I'm going to refresh the chat because otherwise you can think I'm still a butcher in Ledbury. I think you're probably asking me a question we haven't taught it yet because we haven't put the maps into it yet. So, but we'll give it a go. Let's see what it does. What was the question, Sarah?
What's the best place to buy Easter eggs in Ledbury?
So just to warn you, I may have not given a very good brief on this, is that this is designed to be your social media assistant, not
Yeah, not you searching for things. Yeah, it's not consumer facing. It's a business facing tool.
This is designed to live as a training. It's designed to make sure every business has got what they need. But look, what's the best place to buy Easter eggs in Ledbury? I could be a business owner with desperate need for Easter eggs in Ledbury. Oh, I can't even type today. Sorry, I did warn you inside.
Ledbury. That's it. You got it.
See what it says. But I'm going to ask you a question in a minute about how to assess which platform I should use. Check out High Street Guide. That's fantastic. I didn't never do that, and it would give us the link in a minute. That's amazing. I had no idea. That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. So we've got a guide for Ledbury. The link's not in there. I'm just take a screenshot of that and tell you how to do that. Thank you. Love that. Another question about social media, please. What's the best way to create? What can you create a place for this? Anybody going to ask me a question?
Do you think everyone can tell how excited we are about this? I mean, this is brand new, out of the box, and we're all still playing with it. But it's so exciting. It's going to make such a difference. It's that creating content that people find so hard. The how-to is one thing, but the what. Can you create some post suggestions for an Easter guide for a retailer in Ledbury? Okay.
Well, we're very excited about this because this means you're giving local business support immediately. The great thing is that we can box it so that it is localized, and you can overlay local information on it too. So, well, we're excited. We hope you are too. I think it's a moment. I think it's a watershed moment for local business support. I think that blending it with the footfall data as well means that it gives you the ability to measure the impact you're having. And there we go. Post ideas. Okay, great. Can you add some hashtags? Now, Sarah, you sat on calls with businesses. How blank is a sheet of paper sometimes?
Oh, just completely blank. They just don't know where to start. And also, there's this kind of block in people's minds that being on social media, it's about selling online. And actually, yes, it can be brilliant for that. But it's about driving people into your store. I mean, we had lockdown, and then as we came out of lockdown, the high street started to reopen. We were very risk averse. We were very much shopping with intent. We wanted to go and buy a thing. We'd find out where it was. We'd go there, we'd come back. Now we're feeling, we need to get our consumers to engage in our high streets and to engage in events and engage in shopping and eating and health and beauty and professional services and community and all of those wonderful things that make up the heart of our high streets and our communities and our economic prosperity. So using social media as a tool where obviously the consumer is hanging out to entice them in to coming to a place as a whole because of all the different content that's being generated by it. Oh, look at that lovely pub. Oh, I know. Oh, come on, darling. It looks like the Barber's is going to be open. You're desperate for a cut. Well, you can go and have your hair cut. Now I'm just going to pop to the beautician down the road. You can go to the Barber's and we'll go out for lunch. How wonderful. Oh, and there's a craft fair going on in the village, in the town hall. That's what it's all about. It's about creating that experience, and not only for local consumers, but regional, national, international consumers. You know, we want visitors to come to our places, but if they don't know about it and they don't know what we've got on offer, they're not going to come. They're going to go to the places that are shouting about all the wonderful things they have. You're still engrossed in playing, aren't you? Love it.
Well, it's every business's best friend, I think. So thank you all very much for your time. Then I've got a lovely question here from Frank, actually. Frank, you're saying, can you, yes, so this will be embedded within the Maybe platform, so that literally a business can have an assistant working for them there and then. They can ask it a question about anything. So it's not just creating content, it can be how to create a profile, it can be how to, do a thing on social media. So all of our knowledge base is being added to it. So not only have you got all of Chat GPT, but you've also got specific social media knowledge, and it will link to a business's account. So it will tell them what worked well last month, and therefore suggest what they should do better next month. So it becomes a business coach for them. I do think that there's been a sort of leap forward in AI over the last 3 months, and I think there's a real opportunity to embrace it, to do something extraordinary. Watch this space, because you'll be hearing much. It's the first time we've aired it to anybody, so everybody on the call, you've seen something that I probably shouldn't have shown to anybody. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Keep watching, and we'll have much more to show you in the weeks to come. Why does it matter? Well, there are 8 billion people on the planet. 5.4 billion of them have a mobile phone. 5.1 billion of them have the internet, and 4.7 billion use social media. So each of your places has the opportunity. Each of the businesses in your places has the opportunity to reach a global audience. But if fundamentally they're stuff mute, it has a massive impact. Remember those footfall figures. Participating businesses, footfall up by 15%, but it has a pull on an effect on all other businesses too. Thank you very much. I'm concerned only 90% of businesses across the UK are acting on social media. We really want to help you understand how to change it. And if there's anything we can do to help you do that, please do get in touch. We've got data, we've got tools that you can all have access to by virtue of the High Street Task Force. And if you would like any assistance with putting together local business support, proposals and tenders, or anything you want to pick our brains on, please do, because we're in this, we're living it, we're going through the pain of what works and what doesn't. I'm very happy to share that learning, and obviously would be very keen to be part in tenders, but more importantly, make sure you're asking for the right thing, because there is an opportunity right now to help an awful lot of businesses very fast. And we want to make sure that the precious funds that are out there get used in the right way, and appreciate that with growth hubs futures at risk, that there's a lot of businesses that could go unsupported. So very happy to discuss how that can be remedied, if you like. So my soapbox: digital activity contributes to pride in place and economic growth. If you invite these people here, they turn up. If you don't, they won't. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions, Sarah's your lady. She's sarah@maybetech.com. And is there anybody else, any further questions that we should have answered?
Well, this is really nice, because Marion is quite something. She's a real advocate for Maybe, and supports Kent and Victor Chamber to deliver business support, both through Maybe, but also to help businesses claim their Google My Business listings and so on. And I'm really pleased about this, because she's just given us a lovely compliment to say this AI looks amazing.
Thank you, Marion. Really appreciate that. It's a lot of work, and it's very scary actually stepping off the edge and saying we're going to do it. But it's amazing, Sarah, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll keep you posted, Marion.
Yeah, you heard it here first.